Fandom, how's it going? It's your boy Hardcover, and today we're taking a look at the classic manga Full Metal Alchemist, and we're going to see if this book is worth your hard-earned cash. So, without further ado, Full Metal Alchemist is the hit manga series written by Hiromu Arakawa. Now, Hiromu Arakawa is actually a female mangaka writer slash artist, and why is this important? Well, because of the fact that when this series first broke out, she actually had to say that she was a male. The penmanship that she had to write down was the name of a man, because when this book first came out, well, female mangaka writers weren't exactly looked upon fondly in the industry, and it was hard for them to get a lot of work. Full Metal Alchemist centers around the two Ulrich brothers, and at the beginning of the story, Edward and Alphonse Ulrich, they are trying to bring their mother back from the dead. Now, if you know anything about bringing back people from the dead or trying to play God, it's a bit of a taboo. You see, in this world, people are capable of doing what is called alchemy, and alchemy is essentially a form of mystic magic, where in order to perform alchemy, you need to exchange something. The two kids try to bring back their mother, and in doing so, they bring back something completely horrible, and Edward ends up losing his arm and leg, and Alphonse ends up losing his entire body. In a last-ditch attempt to save his brother, Edward actually gives up his leg to put his brother's soul in this metal suit of armor, hence the name Full Metal Alchemist. The series then fast forwards a few years down the road, and it follows Edward and Alphonse Ulrich. Now, at this point in the story, the two brothers are what's known as state alchemists, and they are looking for what's called the Philosopher's Stone. Now, the Philosopher's Stone is able to pretty much conduct any form of alchemy possible. However, it comes with a huge cost that I will not reveal here. The goal is that the two brothers want to bring their mother back some way, and they want to restore their bodies to how they were originally. This is hands down one of my favorite mangas of all time, and if you are somebody out there that has never really dabbled in manga, that, you know, I'm not really into manga, I'm not into the whole style or anything like that, give this a shot. Shut up and just give this a shot, because Full Metal Alchemist is widely regarded as one of the best mangas around. It is absolutely great, it's absolutely brilliant, and oh my gosh, is it funny. There are some moments in here that are genuinely just butt-gusting, hilarious. There are a lot of moments in here that are really dark. Ooh, the Chimera arc especially, and for those of you that have read it, you know what I'm talking about with the Chimera arc. Ugh, still gives me chills. But the manga is absolutely brilliant. It really is one of my favorite mangas of all time, and really it's just such a great story that is easy to get into. This series has one of my favorite manga characters of all time, of course, Armstrong. Now, if you've read the series Full Metal Alchemist, you know about the character of Armstrong, who he always manages to rip off his shirt and he always manages to brag about his muscles. It's really funny stuff, but it also has the badass, absolutely badass boss known as Roy Mustang. Oh my gosh, when Roy Mustang confronts the character of Lust in this series, oh, it has one of the greatest moments that I've ever read in a manga. Absolutely great. Absolutely great. You want to talk about a payoff? This has one of the best payoffs that I've ever read in comics and hardcovers and mangas and fiction. When those two go up against each other, it is such a badass moment. Oh my god. Something that I really like about this series is that every single character in this series has an arc. Every single one. Side characters, main characters, each one plays a prominent role to the greater story. That's something that I think a lot of writers tend to neglect today. Well, they'll shoehorn in, you know, a little side character here and there, and they'll really never finish their arc, or they'll kind of half-ass it, and halfway through they'll think, oh, okay, you know, I'll get back to it, and they never really do. Every character has their arc, every character has their moment. And there are some characters, I'm not gonna lie, that they end up dying in here, and it's really tragic. Now, if you've read this series, there is one particular character in here that when he does die, really hit me deep in the chest. Like, it really hit me hard. I was like, oh, come on, I really like that guy. The art in here is simply badass. I love every single panel in here, and if you are not the biggest fan of manga and you're not the biggest fan of the art in manga, try this series out, guys. Really try it out, because this is not your traditional, typical manga art style. It's really good stuff. And there are moments in here where she tends to use kind of chibi panels. If you know what a chibi is, it's kind of like a little bit of a cartoon drawing that's over exaggerated, and she uses them to full effect. And she tends to break those up though. She doesn't use them a lot, she uses them more for comedic moments. The fight scenes in here are awesome. Now, I've already mentioned Roy Mustang going up against the character of Lust, who you'll find out what she is and what her goal is ultimately as you read the series. But there are so many more brilliant and great moments in this manga that giving really any more away would just simply be ruining it for you. That is how great I love this series. If this is your first time checking out my channel, I rate my books on a pass, borrow, buy, perfect scale. Full Metal Alchemist to me represents everything that a perfect book should have. Now, a perfect book doesn't mean necessarily that the book is perfect itself, but it's a book that really stands out above the crowd. It's a book that has something special in it. And from the very first page of Full Metal Alchemist, you will be gripped and you'll be moved, and I guarantee you'll have a hell of a ride all the way through. And if you don't really feel anything for any of these characters in this manga, Edward, Alphonse, Roy Mustang, Armstrong, the teacher, any of these characters, then chances are you might just be dead inside. You may just be. But yeah, Full Metal Alchemist absolutely gets the perfect award. Perfection. If this is your first time checking out my channel, I do weekly reviews of manga, hardcovers, trade paperbacks, special editions, omnibuses, absolutes, all that good stuff. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter. It's going to be in the description below. You can donate to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. We just hit our second stretch goal, guys. That is awesome. We just hit it. I am so happy to hear that. Thank you so much to everybody that has already donated. I'm working on a third stretch goal right now. I love you guys.